Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I'm answering questions about OCD recovery that you left under my video. Ask a question about OCD. First question is, I'm doing ERP, but sometimes I feel like I'm lying to myself. I can't be 100% happy. What can I do to change this? The only thing you can do is to change your attitude about the situation. You have to look at it that you're right now dealing with OCD. OCD is sending anxiety, so there's not 100% for you to be either certain or happy. You have to go through the motions of doing the exposure work, and it is work. It's not a happy process. It's very challenging, very scary, and you will feel uncertainty, and that is normal. So if you normalize it for yourself in your mind, right, that this is a normal process. For me to feel uncomfortable and scared is normal. I need to continue to do the recovery work. Then you're not dwelling on the fact that how bad you feel, because if you start to worry about how bad you feel, that can become a theme in itself, and then you start to worry about that, just how bad this feels. What if this feeling will never go away? So you just have to look at it more so that it's a process. ERP feels like this for everyone. There's not one person for whom ERP feels different. So this is just how it feels, and who cares? And we're pushing forward. Next question is, how do I stop checking things? I know it's OCD, but I can't stop. I just feel like I need to make sure it's OCD and the thoughts are not true. It's hard to break the cycle. Where can I start? This is harmful memory OCD. So you just have to make a choice. I know it says, you say that you can't stop. But realistically, because it's a physical thing, you can't stop yourself from doing a physical action. Doesn't matter what action it is. You can stop yourself from doing a physical action, whether it's by method of saying, no, I'm just not going to do it, or by maybe an easier method would be to say, I'm going to delay. So I'm just not going to check for the next hour. I'm just going to delay for the next hour, and then actually delay it. Put yourself in a situation where it would be impossible for you to check, such as, go outside or something else, or, talk to somebody on the phone, not about OCD, but about something else, but like, kind of put yourself in a position where you can check. Then after an hour, see if you can go another hour. And even if you fail and give in to checking that time and then verify that it wasn't true, then next go around, try to make it 2 hours and that kind of thing. And as you do this, you will habituate and it will make things easier. But you can't recover and continue to check at the same time. They're the opposite, right, of each other. So you have to do the recovery work in order to recover, and not checking is the recovery work. So you can kind of approach it slowly by delaying, but you do have to approach it. Next question is, hi Ollie, when I work hard at disregarding everything the OCD suggests, I always end up getting depersonalization, derealization disorder. I believe because the brain thinks I'm not able to process the OCD content, so thinks the OCD is a threat, and so it lowers my senses so I'm not exposed to it. I have pushed through DP before, but it always tends to come back when I continue to ignore OCD. What do you think I should do to treat this situation? Thank you. So, it sounds to me like one of your themes. I wouldn't say depersonalization, derealization disorder. I would say that you have a theme of OCD where you obsessively worry about feeling depersonalized in the moment. And the reason why you're feeling this way is because it's kind of what you're saying. It's because the brain is not able to process OCD content, but it's not quite like that. It's because your anxiety is so high that nothing feels real except for what you're hyper focused on, and even that feels fuzzy. If say you were in a situation where something terrible happened to somebody well, right? Let's just say for an example, right? God forbid, obviously, but I'm just saying, right? In those situations, we're so kind of besides ourselves with fear, that everything is like, you know what I mean? Like it's that phrase of, your knees buckle, you feel weak, you're like, I'm not understanding reality right now, I can't process. That's the same thing. Your brain just thinks you're in it right now with whatever trivial OCD thought you're getting, but your brain is taking it to that same extreme, the exact same way, right? Because the brain is not able to tell the difference. So that's all it is. it's a normal function of the brain. It happens to everybody in emergency situations. Yours just happen to happen all the time because you're in OCD land all the time, you know? So you have to look at it that this is normal. This happens to everybody. I don't need to worry about depersonalization as a separate thing. I don't need to look it up. I don't need to analyze it. I don't need to go see, doctor after doctor after doctor with this. I don't need to get additional information on it. I just need to push through OCD. If when you fully recover from OCD, you still have this problem, which you will not, but let's just say if you will, then you can take it as a separate thing. Right now, I would just view it as an OCD theme because it 100% sounds to me like it is. So I would just treat it like that. Next question is, in Bureau, when thoughts come, brain starts automatically analyzing it in a second before we recognize that we are doing mental compulsions, and we start response prevention. How do you prevent that? The auto instant rumination. So the instant rumination is very difficult to prevent because, again, it's instant. But as soon as you catch yourself, like, wait a minute, I think I'm analyzing here, that's when you can actually prevent it. So if it happens too fast and you feel like you didn't catch it right away, or when you did catch it, when you understand, no, this is OCD, that's when you need to make the choice to stop, again, to the best of your ability as much as possible. Next question is, how much time a day should one ideally ruminate? Also, when you feel depressed and you feel like you should ruminate, is it okay? You should ruminate 0 times per day. When you feel depressed, is it okay to ruminate? It is not okay to ruminate. You are not allowed to ruminate under any circumstances when you are recovering from OCD. Whenever you choose to ruminate, it is a step back. How many steps back do you want to take in your recovery is completely up to you, but it is a step back. So in certain situations, say if you are going into, I don't know, like a job interview or something important is happening in your life and you need to solve the situation, and you know that, say if you do, rumination doesn't really most of the time solve situation, but if you can ask someone or check something and you truly feel like this will solve it, in those, once every 6 months emergency situation, maybe it would be okay. But other than that, you really are just doing it to just, put a band-aid on the bad feelings. And usually, again, 90% of the time when you start rumination, you feel worse, not better, because if you say you had one question, 10 more will come up. So it's useless, and it just creates more problems. So no matter how badly you feel, you need to do things as you normally would do them in the course of the day and refuse to ruminate to the best of your ability. And again, delaying is a good technique with that. If you feel like, I just can't, then at least try to delay to the point of where you really can't. Because I bet that you can at least delay it for a little while, even past the I can't part, Next question is, I've been doing ERP for the last year, but Puro is still there a bit. Why so? What can I do to fully recover from this? Whenever a thought comes related to past or future, or what if she tells me this, and etc., it feels so real that I can't control myself to ruminate. What can I do for it? Again, try to delay. Your level of and this is actually also very helpful for the previous question as well, that your level of rumination equals your level of recovery. So if you used to ruminate a lot, that automatically means your OCD was really bad. Because whenever you ruminate, you make OCD bad, because you show your brain that this is scary and more thoughts come in. So it mimics basically you're saying, I'm at a level 10 with this. This feels to me like real to the point of level 10. And your brain's like, okay, I will send you the thought like it's a level 10 emergency. So then you pull back and you say, okay, I'm going to ruminate only a little bit, like a level 3. Your brain's like, okay, I understand this is now a level 3 emergency. I will send you thoughts that are on that level, with that level of anxiety, with that level of intensity. So, you have to look at it this way. So if you've gotten really good results, but not quite fully recovered, it means that somewhere you're still powering it up. And what you're saying here is exactly that, that sometimes you just can't control yourself but to ruminate. So I would say try to, if you can, keep a calendar. So, okay, I broke down and ruminated today. I'm going to try to next time not ruminate for at least a week, and have that goal for yourself. Then next time, next go around, after whenever you broke on that, right? Now make it longer and longer and longer, and then get to the point where you haven't ruminated for months and months, and that's how you get through OCD entirely. It's with pure rumination. This is the key to recovery. It's, you have to stop the rumination. This is an interesting question. When to know that doing exposures and thinking of it has become to a point of an obsession? When to know there is good in doing exposures? Okay, so the person is saying, like, basically the exposures have gotten to the point of obsession. And in that case, if you feel like that may be the case for you, what you want to do is you want to kind of vary, like change the exposures around, a little bit, like vary them a little bit so they're not exactly the same. Sometimes you do more, sometimes it's, in this situation, it's almost good to sometimes do a little bit of a lesser exposure. So you're kind of like, whenever your brain is saying, well, what if you're not doing it right? Well, then I'm not doing it right. What if you never recover if you don't do it right? Well, then I guess I'll never recover. So you're not taking the bait of what it's saying to you, and that's very, very important. And I would say, in these kinds of situations, you have to look the obsessing about exposures as a theme. So not looking at it further, not analyzing it, none of that. Next question is, when feelings of deep sadness and confusion come up, and I have a thought that asks, are these OCD feelings? Is it the same as asking, is this an OCD thought? Then disregarding and moving on. Exactly that. Zero analyzing, like, what about this, what about that, is this the same, let me try to figure it out. And then you start to get into this mental loop. No, I'm choosing not to figure it out. I'm choosing not to analyze. I'm choosing to let go of this. What if the world will fall apart if I don't figure it out? Don't care, I'm disregarding. What if it's not the right thing to disregard? Don't care, still disregarding. Like, you have to kind of be like completely bulletproof on this. You know what I mean? That, like, whatever it's up, don't care. World's gonna fall apart, don't care. Whatever tells you your response is whatever, I don't care, I'm done playing the OCD game. And just pushing through like that, moment to moment. And it is, when you are going through OCD recovery, it really is moment to moment because of how difficult it is. Next question is, hi Ali, I have harm OCD. I'm more afraid of the feelings that come along with the thoughts, and sometimes it feels as if the feelings are the first, as if I really want to do this harm. This is very disturbing. Because of that, I cannot convince myself that it's OCD and keep doubting. So the mistake that you're making is you're trying to convince yourself. You want to say, yeah, of course I want to kill people, or whatever, animals, whoever you want to kill, right? Yeah, of course, sure, So you just agree with it and choose to move on. And then when you have these feelings of, oh, I'm a terrible person, blah, 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 disregarding, So you're not trying to achieve a feeling. You're not trying to achieve perfection. You're just saying, I get 50,000 thoughts a day. So does everybody else. You can get a weird thought. You can get a weird feeling. You can feel like you want something. It doesn't matter. We're making a choice to move on. We're not trying to figure it out and sorting through every moment, every microsecond of this, every millisecond of this. We're not doing this. We're not figuring it out. We're making a choice. We're standing up to OCD and we're moving on. And whatever thought you're getting, who cares? Disregarding. People with OCD and people without OCD get the exact same thoughts. The only thing is that people without OCD don't take them seriously. They don't say, oh, this means something about me. They just look at it like, wow, that was pretty weird, whatever, disregarding, moving on, And just making that choice over and over again. Don't try to achieve a certain feeling. Just push through it. Doesn't matter. However I felt is however I felt. What if I'm a bad person? Of course, I'm the worst person on the history of the world. That's it. That's me, Who cares? Moving on, and really treating it like that all the time. That's the end of the questions for today. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I will be back with more Q&A tomorrow. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there. You can book the appointment. Please don't send me emails for like session, or right now my email box has over 400 emails in it. So if you would like to sign up for the program, do it through the website. I will be there on the time scheduled, and I will contact you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.